Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. The Honorable my lecturers in academic speaking, and all of my beloved friends. I am Risma Fitroh Izzati, student number J1E019001. In this period occasion, I'm going to share with you about the journal presentation with the title, Escaping the Value of Local Aliveness of Java Culture Through the Understanding of Bebasa, Saloka, and Paribasa. This journal is written by Wayan Sartini and includes into scientific language and literature journal. So, what are the contents of this presentation and this journal? So the first, of course, we're gonna have the abstract. The second, we're gonna have the background. And the third, we're gonna discuss about the research and discussion, of course. And in the last of this presentation, we're gonna come to the report conclusion. So let's get started with the abstract. One of the local genies in Indonesia is Javanese local genies. It's such like an idiomatic expressions that are fully loaded with cultural values. This research attempt to investigate these cultural values as reflected in the linguistic expressions. Later on in the research and discussion, we're gonna discuss about the kinds of the Javanese expressions. At least we're gonna have 4 kinds of Javanese expressions. So let's move to the background. So what are the backgrounds of this research? The first background is that there are competitions between Indonesian and regional languages. As we know and we can see nowadays, the teenagers, the toddlers, and also the young girls, but not only those community, but also the adults, are rarely used the regional languages because they consider that Indonesian language is more efficient and more communicative. The second one is that Javanese language as a product of Javanese society that reflects to the Javanese culture. The third, there is an industry 4.0 that shifts the Javanese language. The first background that was competition between Indonesian and regional languages is the form of the impact of the industry 4.0. From those problems, of course, there are needed to conduct a research and inventory related to the values that contained in the expressions. In this case, is in Javanese expressions, including Bebasa, Saloka, and also Paribasa. So, what are the writing purposes? At least we have 3 writing purposes here. The first one is knowing the Bebasa, Paribasa, and also Saloka that Javanese people have, and also to explore the meaning. And I'm sure that this cultural expression have so many meaningful meaning, of course. And the third is to introducing Bebasa, Paribasa, and also Saloka, which Javanese people have, not only for the community of Javanese people, but also for the other communities. So, finally, we come to the research and discussion. As I have said before, we have at least 4 kinds of expressions. The first one is the expressions which are describe, behave, and ideology. For the examples, we have alon-alon asal kelakon, melu handarbeni melu hangkurbi, and also weweh tanpa kelangan. These phrases can be explained that Javanese people have the view that it is better to slow down but come about rather than hurry up but not happen. It also contains one of the attitudes of life that Javanese people do not want to feel in achieving what they want. The second expressions is about the expressions which are related with strong will. For the examples, we have rawe-rawe rantas, malang-malang kertas, and also suro diro jayaningrat pangruwating dayu lebur dening pangastuti. So these phrases mean that whoever you are, you must have the courage to to against the evil, to defend the truth. And then the next, we have the expressions which are describe the relationship between human and the cat. For the examples, we have adoh tanpa wengenan, cedak datan senggolan. And also, koletna susuhing angin, koletna tapake kontun layang. From these phrases, we can learn that the cat existence can only be solved by full of faith. While we have the expressions which are describe the relationship between human and cat, we also have the expressions which are describe the relationship between humans to the other humans. So for the examples, we have aja adigang adigung adiguna, and also dudu sanak dudu kadang yen mati melu kelangan. So these phrases teach us to not be arrogant. As a human being, we must be respectful for the others, and we must try to live side by side. Well, we move to the research conclusion or the report conclusion. We have 3 conclusions here. The first one is culture in its form can be material and non-material culture. In this case, Javanese expressions include to the non-material culture. The second one is that the expressions in Javanese contain many values of moral teaching, and I do really believe that these moral teaching, these expressions, can be also accepted by the other communities. And the third is that we have at least 4 kinds of expressions. The first is the expressions which are describe the relationship between human and cat. The second is the expressions which are describe the relationship between human to the other human. The third, we have the expressions that show the strong will. And the last, we have the expressions which are describe the attitude and way of life. Well, I think that's all for my presentation. If you have any question, I'll be very happy to have yours, and you can ask me your question in the comment section, or you can directly text me on WhatsApp. Thank you so much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.